This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP network.
This is episode 633 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast for October 15th, 2024. Welcome, everybody, to the show. We are so glad to have you here today. The we, though, is not the typical we. It's almost me, but aside from me, your host, Chris, I also have Lee.
Hello, everyone.
And Tracy's still out. She is fighting some germs, some fomites, some stuff. And Michelle is having the time of her life over in Orlando, so it's just going to be us two today. Are you ready for that, Lee?
Everyone's going to be like, Tracy's still out. What everyone doesn't know is pulling the curtain back that we record next week's episode before this one. So, yes, technically she is still out, but just out.
Yeah.
I was worried because I hadn't heard from you much in the last few days. I was like, I might end up having to do this episode all on my own, which I'm not averse to. But, yeah.
Well, again, for those listening, I wasn't ignoring Lee.
We know.
Been currently in the weeds of a newborn baby, which is a hell of a thing. And speaking of newborn babies,
yes.
Just a big shout out to Andy and Catherine for just having their little baby boy, yes. Andrew, right?
Yes, congrats, guys. You know Tracy's going to want to be all over that baby when we're over this year, so just be prepared.
Yeah.
She's
going to be a
central.
very, very busy godmother.
Oh, isn't she just? We've got, you guys, Nicole, and now Andy and Catherine. There's just babies. Oh, and Kayla. So there's babies everywhere. Babies everywhere. You guys are crazy. You don't know what you're letting yourself in for.
You guys should get another one.
Oh, no thanks. We just got rid of ours. We had one of them home this weekend. It was quite fun. We went to see the new Transformers movie, actually. It was pretty good. Oh, nice. If anyone's on the fence,
I've been hearing really good things about that.
It was way better than I expected it to be. I remember seeing the trailer for it and thinking it looked horrible.
See, that's what everybody's saying. Like the trailer, sells a different movie altogether.
It really does, because we went to see it on Friday night, and then we actually stayed over the weekend and we watched it. We watched the trailer on Saturday, and we're like, that is a completely different movie to what I watched. It was, to be fair, I had a massive headache when we went to see it, so I was kind of a bit of a mess overall, but I did really enjoy it. If anyone's on the fence about going to see it, go to see it. And I was surprised how many grown adults were there without little kids. So there's me and our youngest, who's 20, and then there was a group, 3 guys sat next to us, all must have been like late 20s, early 30s, and then there was a group down there, and I was surprised at how many adults were there for what is essentially a kids movie.
Does it feel like a kids movie?
Yes and no. There are elements of it that are, but overall, it really sets the story leading up to the war on Cybertron. It was really good. I would recommend it, definitely.
Okay. And I mean, we can speak this long about it because, Universal.
Yeah, exactly.
Transformers. There you go.
Imagine if they rethemed the Transformers The Ride to Transformers 1. That would be interesting.
It would be.
But it was good. I enjoyed it.
Okay. So this next part's going to be kind of difficult because we got some PC birthdays here, but our birthday queen is out, our announcer.
Yeah. So we'll just split in between us, Chris.
Okay. All right. So the first birthday we have here is John Tyler on October 15th. Feliz cumpleaños, buddy.
Happy birthday, John. I hope Becky is spoiling you rotten. Absolutely.
Yes.
And then next is a birthday twin, the one and only, I adore this woman, Mrs. Crystal King, also on October the 15th. Happy birthday, Crystal.
Happy birthday, Crystal. Also, another fun fact, my mom's birthday is October 15th. So there you go. Yeah.
Big day.
Yeah. Next up, we have Willis Ward. Happy birthday, Mr. Ward.
Happy birthday, Willis. I don't know whether you were there. I think you guys were riding Cat in the Hat at the Weekender. We bumped into Willis.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's cool. Of course, if you want a birthday shout out, you can join the Producers Club. We have weekly bonus behind the scenes episode, an amazing Facebook group. As I said, you will get your birthday shouted out on the show and in the group. You can be part of our annual donation to Give Kids the World and so much more. And all you've got to do is go to uop.supercast.com to join.
Very good. Okay, let's get into this. We're going to start off with some little things with Seth.
This is Seth Kabursky, co-author of The Unofficial Guides. I was supposed to be away this week on a cruise, but thanks to Hurricane Milton, I'm here to bring you a very brief post-storm look at all the little things that are new around the Universal Orlando Resort. Obviously, Hurricane Milton was the big news this week. It caused Universal's parks to close early on Wednesday and stay shut on Thursday, but I was there bright and early for opening on Friday, and aside from some delayed openings on some of the roller coasters, Universal did a great job of getting all of the debris cleared up and getting everything operational as normal. Before we take that quick look inside the theme parks, got some updates for you from the hotels. The Royal Pacific Hotel brought back Jake's Beer Fest on October 4th. And coming up on October 18th, Portofino Bay Hotel will be having a Harbor Nights event. In City Walk, Cold Stone Creamery has brought back Black Boo Batter ice cream for the remainder of the Halloween season. And there are some refurbishment walls up next to the Shoreline Bar. We'll now head into Universal Studios Florida, where Halloween Horror Nights is about to wrap up for the year, which means you can find select Halloween Horror Nights merchandise for 30% off in the stores. That includes an adorable Lil Boo bundle for $85. If you're a Universal Orlando annual pass holder, you can also still find a Lil Boo Halloween magnet available while supplies last at the Five and Dime and the UOAP Lounge. And over in San Francisco, when Chez Alcatraz reopened, they installed a frozen drink machine. So now you can taste a frozen version of their famous Ocean Attack cocktail. Over in Islands of Adventure, in Toon Lagoon, the comic strip cafe has finally shut the freestyle machines off. That makes me think they might be getting a little closer to shutting that entire venue down for a full renovation. And if you're missing that Hello Kitty merchandise or the Hello Kitty statue wearing the 3D glasses that used to be found in Universal Studios Florida, you can now find them in the Toon Lagoon merchandise store that's right across from Comic Strip Cafe. Over in Jurassic Park, there are some refurbishment walls up around Pizza Brettatoria, but that pizza stand is still open for business. And finally, I'm not sure exactly when this happened because I don't go into the Marvel Superhero Island arcade all that often, but Dr. Doom's chair was missing from the top of the stairs near the exit from his Fearfall ride. Last but not least, keep your eyes open in the upcoming months for construction on the signage that marks the entrance to Universal Orlando. Permits have been filed to replace the current marquees with new digital ones. That's all for now. Until next time, you can find me and my books at theunofficialguides.com, where the unofficial guide to Universal Orlando 2025 is now available for order. And until the next time, I'm Seth Kabursky, keeping an eye on all those little things for you.
Thank you, Seth.
Yeah, I suppose we should talk about the hurricane. I hope everyone that was in its path got through it unscathed. I think there was a few deaths because of it. Chris, you probably know better than I do.
I know there was on the West Coast, like where it made landfall. I don't know about Orlando because I know by the time it got over there, it thankfully died down a bunch.
Yeah.
Not to say that there wasn't tons of rain and wind and all that stuff, but thankfully, once these things go inland, they typically die down a bunch, and that looks like what happened here for them. Because we didn't even see a lot of damage. I know, like when we saw, what hurricane was it that did some damage at the parks, and it wasn't even that big of a hurricane.
Recently,
yeah, the one that like punched a hole in the side of.
Oh yeah, last year, the
River
year before,
Adventure,
River
yeah.
Adventure. Yes, I remember. Was that Ian or was that before Ian?
See, I don't remember. I don't remember the names. I'm terrible with the names. I just remember the storms.
I know which one you mean.
Like,
yes,
that one was a lesser storm on paper. and did some damage in there. So this one looked like it left, the area and parks, as unscathed as one would want from a hurricane.
Yeah, it seemed to be, from what I've seen from like friends and stuff who were in that area, it just left a lot of people without power for a few days. Seemed to be the biggest thing.
But I mean, the parks were, and let me tell you, I saw some pictures of how they locked down those parks for the hurricane. It's insane.
Well, did you see, I saw pictures of Magic Kingdom, and Main Street was like under 2 feet of water. It was crazy.
Yeah, but Magic Kingdom gets under 2 feet of water like on a random Sunday afternoon. Yeah, it's so bad.
Islands floods pretty badly as well. I remember walking back through, walking back through studios at opening night of Horror Nights last year. Tracy had her Crocs on and was having an absolute blast. How torrential it was that first night. And even that floods pretty badly. I was listening to a good friend of ours, Ian and Stuart's podcast today. I'll give them a plug, Toxic Masculinity, and they were recording on the Wednesday, I think it was either Tuesday night or the Wednesday night of the hurricane. And Ian was saying, I want to see if you know this is a thing, the Waffle House or the Waffle Index or the Waffle House Index.
Yeah.
He was saying basically you can judge how bad a hurricane is by whether the Waffle House is closed or not.
It's true. And I'm not 100% on the whole Waffle House lore, but I know that I don't know if you've ever seen like a TikTok or an Instagram reel or YouTube video that shows how they prepare their orders, right? So they get an order in, and the way they do it is they'll put like a pack of butter, some syrup on this side, a slice of cheese over here, and they could look at that and read, oh, this is scrambled eggs with cheese, 2 pancakes, and this and that. Because apparently it's like they can take orders like if the power's out,
okay,
so that they can that they're made for that, like for like service, like linemen and all that kind of stuff that deal with storms. So, and they're typically open all the time. So when they're shut down, it's like a very scary thing.
Also, I don't know whether you're interested. There's a couple of friends of mine, listeners of the show, and friends who work to quote them, they work in the fairgrounds because they're not allowed to talk about where they actually work. Wayne and Adam, who have their own podcast called Fish and Brits. There are a couple of Brits who have lived in Orlando. I think Adam's lived in Orlando for like 10 years now, and Wayne's been there since he was like 13. And their podcast Fish and Brits is basically about their life as ex-Brits living in Orlando. It's a really good, fun show, to be fair. They actually did a live stream podcast during the hurricane. It was quite funny. So go and check that out as well. It was interesting to sort of see people going through it at the time. I mean, neither of them were scared about it at all. And like Wayne was just like, yeah, it's a bit windy outside.
Yeah.
But again, not trying to diminish it at all because it's crazy. I mean, you and I talked about it last week, didn't we? About how it was on paper one of the worst that's ever been. But
yeah. And look, man, I can tell you as a born and raised South Floridian, like we are like the target for most hurricanes. It's you kind of become desensitized, right?
Yes,
it's not insensitive, but you're just like, oh, a hurricane, sure.
Yep.
Let me know when it gets to a category 4, then I'll start to like.
When you're dealing with them every year, it's just part of the course.
It's part of living here in Florida. Like you move to Florida, expect a hurricane. Like not, oh, I hope we don't get one. You will get one.
Yeah.
Just you just get used to it. So that's kind of what that is.
Well, Tracy and I have experienced it twice when we've been over. The first time we ever came over, 2004, we landed and they shut the airport behind us for Hurricane Jean. And then the tail end, didn't we get the tail end of one last year? So when we landed on the Tuesday, I think one had just come through. I'm trying to remember what it was called now. Irene, was that last year?
Yeah. There was an Irene. Was it last year?
I'm sure it was last year because the first day we had in the parks, it rained till pretty much sort of 1 o'clock because we had a lunch reservation at Mythos and we were like putting off going to the parks as long as we could.
So Irene was in 2011.
Okay.
That's weird.
I'm going to have to look it up. I'm sure it began with it. Idalia, that was it.
Idalia.
Yes. So we caught the tail end of that. So it's like, but I know a lot of people, we've seen it go freaking out who are going on, they've got like trips booked and stuff are freaking out. Oh my God, the hurricane. It's like, it's bad, but it's not that bad. you might lose a day. I mean, that first time we went, obviously we'd never been to Florida before. This has become the unofficial Universal Hurricane podcast.
Yeah.
We'd never been to the US before, and it was like this big trip that we'd spent a fortune on. We were like, oh my God, it's going to spoil it. And we got stuck in our hotel room so we arrived on the Saturday, pretty much like all the toll. So we flew into Sanford. All the toll roads were closed. And we were stuck in the hotel room the next day. Monday morning, we went out to breakfast, and it was like nothing had happened.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
No, I mean, they're very good at dealing with them.
I mean, they should be.
Again, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, back onto Universal stuff. Chris, where is the Shoreline Bar?
I swear to God, I was going to ask you what that was.
I'm assuming it must be in City Walk.
Shoreline Bar. Oh, you know what that may be? Is that like the outside bar from Margaritaville?
No, that's the Lone Palm, isn't it? Or is there another one?
Where the plane was. Didn't they take the plane away?
No, that's the Lone Palm.
That's okay. Shoreline
All
Bar.
right, so it is. It's just one of those sort of Japanesey looking. That sounds really bad. Like an Asian looking. You know, they've got those kind of wooden Asian looking.
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them.
Like a little kiosk bar outside.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
What are you refurbing?
God knows. Have
The
you been
wood
back?
panel colors.
Have you been back since Chez Alcatraz opened? Like reopened afterwards? No,
man, we haven't. We haven't even seen the new parade yet either.
When was the last time you were there?
It was, I believe, the beginning of summer.
Oh, you went
really early on. We were going to go back,
yes,
and Alexa was already just not having it with the pregnancy and the heat, so that was the last one for a bit.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll get there soon. If not, don't forget get those videos watched. Tracy and I have done 2 lots of house walkthroughs. My list's changed quite substantially already.
Okay,
it's very interesting this year of talking to people about Horror Nights, because people are like, oh my God, it's one of the best years, and then there's no in between. Like everyone's either the houses are awesome or it's just kind of this year.
So I have obviously I have a crap ton of different Universal pages and like Horror Night specific ones on Facebook. And I also follow HHN on Reddit, which is like an unofficial one. And man, I just get pushed so many posts about how terrible it was this year.
Yeah, it's weird.
And if you go based off of that, like it makes you go like, why did people go? But obviously there's, first timers that have no idea and they have a bad time because they didn't plan enough, maybe. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks house-wise, it looks a really solid year this year, if I'm honest. But I'm not
keep on hearing good things about the Insidious one.
Yes. Yeah. Did you see the designs for the new entrance signs then, Chris? Have you seen them?
No, it's not the logos that they redid, right?
No, they're doing so. I can't remember. Some news site reported it a couple of weeks ago. I posted them on our Instagram. So at all the major entrances to the resort, they are putting in these new digital entrance signs. So they're like a fan kind of design where they'll have there's one with like Trolls and Kung Fu Panda, and then there's one that's like the Hagrid's. You know, that Hagrid's background with like the trees and the castle on one side, and then there's one with like Shrek and Puss in Boots. Whether they'll change or whatever, but I like them. It's funny. People are like, and it's like they're just signs for the like. Who cares? It's just modernizing the entrance to the parks. I mean, I couldn't even tell you what the entrance signs look like. To be fair,
yeah.
I'm either staying on a water taxi hotel and walking in, or if I'm on a bus, I'm not looking out the window. So,
yeah.
But they look cool.
Cool, yeah, do it. That's fine with me.
Absolutely, yeah.
Comic strip cafe. That's interesting.
Yeah, again, we could do with some better places to eat over in that park, to be fair. So it does. I know Seth has been talking about it for a while, saying it looks like they're going to do a big refurb of it because the food at Islands is not great.
No, especially not there.
No.
Where do you think Dr. Doom's throne went?
seems an odd thing to take. Like, why would you take it out?
My only guess is that they needed a throne chair-like structure for
Horror Nights.
A prop, a design, or something. Yeah, but this just got taken out apparently after the hurricane. So unless they're prepping for, it is weird. Like, just build another chair.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah,
it's weird because I know, like, we there wasn't a lot of news last week. Or 2 weeks ago, sorry, and there's not a lot of news this week. I'm expecting I think once Horror Nights is finished, we're going to get a glut of news, because they haven't really said anything about the holidays at this point, and that starts soon. We're only like a month away from the start of the holidays. I'm expecting some Epic Universe stuff soon, like big stuff, because they're not a million miles away. We're potentially, 8 months away from that opening at this point.
Did they drop all the lands?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Harry Potter was the last one, no?
Yeah. They've done all the Helios stuff. If you watch the podcast on YouTube, I think they did one on Helios a couple of weeks ago, which that hotel looks amazing.
So good.
I'm expecting a lot of stuff soon. Because it's not normally, we don't normally struggle for news. There's usually something major to talk about, and there's nothing at the moment.
Yeah, we just talked about a hurricane for the past 10 minutes.
That's the biggest news at the moment. So, again, not to diminish it, but it's like we're here to talk about theme parks. So, yeah.
Of course.
Oh, well.
I think that kind of covers the little things, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, we'll move on. We've got some more Producers Club birthdays. I'll take this next one. Denise Harrison on October 20th. So happy birthday, Denise.
Happy birthday, Denise. And next up, we have Thomas Bernal. And that is on October 22nd. Happy birthday, Thomas.
Happy birthday. And then coming in, one of birthday twins from our very own Podkey Passport podcast, who, Chris, she actually replaced Michelle 2 weeks ago when you and Michelle weren't here. Nicole Singleton. Her birthday is on October 26th. So happy birthday, Nicole.
Happy birthday.
Nicole is the one, when we were on our RIP tour, that came out of the house opposite us, and we're like, oh my God, it's Leah Tracy and Chris from UUOP. I embarrass her all the time about that.
Yeah. And rounding it off, we have Christina Solik on October 26th. Happy birthday, Christina.
Happy birthday. There's a lot of birthdays in the end of October.
Yeah. What's 9 months prior to this? Is it February? Is it Valentine's Day? Is that what it is?
Okay. Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Right. February, no? Yeah, February.
February, March time, yeah.
All right. Next up, we have a Which Stick Gets Your Lick? And this one comes from our good friend Sonia.
I've been given the impossible task to keep this family friendly. So why is the segment name so rich with double entendre? We all know what you're trying to say with the segment name that you picked. I'm not even gonna go there, so which stick gets your lick?
Which stick gets your lick? Oh, hell yeah. Lick it, baby.
Hi, this is Sonia. As promised, I'm back to lick some more sticks. Last time we didn't get to have very many because it was January and it was cold. So I had one, the Minion Blue Banana. This time I had the Orange Vector. I think I'm just going to give it 2.5 or 3, maybe 3. The orange flavor was just not very prominent. Mostly the flavoring was the white chocolate coating. So yeah, wasn't the best. I'll try again tomorrow with something different. Bye.
Just trying to listen to the background. Where the hell do you think she was then? Because I couldn't make that out.
I have no clue.
Hi, this is Sonia, and I'm at HHN, and I had another Freeze Ray Pop. This time it was coconut. I'm not always a big fan of coconut, but I do like coconut cream pie and coconut cake. It tastes like coconut cream pie. It was so good, but no sand texture from like fake coconut. Anyway, I think I'm going to give it a 4. It was actually really, really good. Okay, I'll try and be back with another. Thanks. Bye. Hi, this is Sonia coming from my last night at HHN for September. I had the non-creamy blueberry lemon popsicle. And it was actually really good. It's very lemony, but it's got the sweetness of blueberry. It's very blue. It will turn your lips and tongue blue. I'm going to give it a 4. I liked it. It was very refreshing. Hopefully I'll get back tomorrow. Thanks. Bye. Hi, this is Sonia. This is my last Freeze Ray Pop for the trip. So I had mango this time. I think I'm just going to give it a 3. It had like a little bit of mango chunks in it, but the mango flavor, it wasn't quite as strong as I would have preferred. There was it was more sweet, more sugary than fruity. So wasn't bad, but I love mango, so I like a really strong mango flavor. Okay, well, I'll hopefully get to do another report in October. See you then. Bye.
I think by the end of October,
New York.
Oh, okay.
That's where she was at the end. I can tell that's by Lalo then in the background.
I think by the end of October, then Sonia will have tried all of them at this point.
Yeah.
I need to go back and listen to the recording that you, Tracy, I, and Alexa did from that first time to try and remember which ones we had. So when Tracy and I get out this year, we try some different ones.
Yeah, I want to just try anyone, to be honest. I just want to be there. I want to be out of my house.
Tell me about it. I'm sure you do, yeah. Yeah, there's worse things you could be doing, though, Chris.
That's very, very true.
Yeah. Come on, guys. You could be on the podcast. It's dead easy. All you've got to do is get involved in this year's interactive topic, Which Stick Gets Your Lick? Or if Tracy was here, she would call it Lick Me Stick. Just go to Freeze Ray Pops like Sonia did. Try as many of those popsicles at Minion Land as like Sonia did. I mean, she spliced them together. I didn't even do that. She sent them all spliced like that, which was cool.
She's awesome.
So basically, just try as many as you can.
Yeah, and then once you've done that, just record yourself ranking each one of them out of 5. 1's being...
Oh, hell no.
And a 5 being...
Oh, hell yeah.
And then send us those recordings over to podcast@uuopodcast.com. And for the best recording, do it while you're at the parks like Sonia did.
Yeah, so we can try and figure out where the hell you were. Because I have no idea where that first one was. I thought it sounded like the port of entry music, but it can't have been.
I do like the HHN one where it's like, I think someone's being murdered in the background. They're like, yeah, this coconut cream pie is really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look, someone's getting the head cracked open like a coconut.
Yeah.
This is the problem, though. You're starting to understand how Tracy and I feel a lot of the time when we hear those, and it's like, I just want to be there so badly.
Oh, I told you already that, like, you said on the podcast before, where the years you weren't going to horror nights, you just kind of, you looked into it, but you try not to like really get into it because then it hurts more when you're not there. And that's kind of what we've done this year. Hopefully, maybe fingers crossed, we're going to be there this year, hopefully. But yeah, I haven't tried to do too much into it because it already hurts not being there.
I said before the event this year that I wasn't that bothered about going because last year was a bit of a mess. And it just seems like I was expecting, so putting those 2 new sprung tents up in between the parade buildings out the back where The Last of Us and Monsters Unmasked was last year. I thought that's going to make that area even worse because last year it was horrible back there. And from what I've seen, it's so much better back there now than it ever has been.
It looks amazing. I know it's just, pop-up tents kind of thing, or they're permanent structures, but
yeah, they still
just
look
looks
like
clean.
tents.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks organized. It's great.
They just seem to have organized the lines better because, like I say, that opening night, me, Tracy, Maddie, Kenneth, Michelle, and Lindsay queued like an hour and 20 minutes or something for The Last of Us on that raised sort of platform. And it was horrible. It was horrible, and it just seems like, I don't know whether this year's quieter. The wait times still seem to be relatively high for all the houses, but it just doesn't seem to be the mess. But anyway, that's where I was going now, because last year was so bad. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to miss not going through the houses, but the event as a whole, I'm not going to miss it this year. I'm actually not bothered that I'm not going. I'm kind of more excited to go when we are going, and I still am, because there's less pressure on coming out when we come out. But then when you start to hear like, oh, Insidious is one of the best houses ever. I mean, like I say, Tracy and we've watched multiple walkthroughs of the houses this year, and I think it's really solid.
I want to see it, and I think, or walk through it, not just see it.
Yeah.
And I think that's, if I remember correctly on the hype list, I put that at number 10 just because I don't have any kind of connection to that franchise and hearing how good it is.
Yeah. I think I had it at number 1 because of how much I loved that house in 2015.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, next up, we have another pair of birthday twins. So starting off the twins, we have Jeremy Frable on October 28th. Happy birthday, Jeremy.
Happy birthday, Jeremy. And then the other pair of the twins is Jason Montagut, and his is also on October 28th. So happy birthday, Jason.
Happy birthday.
Yes, there you go. I think that's all the Producers Club birthdays. Yeah, of course, like I said already, if you want to get your birthday read out on the show, just join the Producers Club. Just head over to uop.supercast.com to join today.
All right. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
I wish to go to Scotland.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
Where can our vacation wizards take you? Just tap the port key at portkeyvacations.com and let the magic begin.
Welcome back, everyone. As it is another slow news week, we will head over to our PC submitted questions and go through a few of them.
Right, so this is what we did 2 weeks ago when you weren't here, Chris, because there's no news, and we still had quite a few left over from when we asked the Producers Club to submit some questions. So I'm going to ask you to pick a number.
I love these.
Yes.
These are great.
I'm going to ask you to pick a number between 1 and I think it's 56, but 55. Sorry, but some of them I need to go in and actually doctor it and take out the ones we've already done. So you might pick a number and it might have already been answered.
39.
39. This has kind of been answered for one of them. Two of them we can answer, one we can't. So anyway, Julie Klein says, she asks, what do you think the price point of the Epic hotels will be? And we know that. We know what the price is, obviously, for Stella Nova and Terra Luna.
Yes, we do.
I can't actually remember what they are.
Well, I can tell you, just because we kind of looked at some stuff recently, got brought to my attention. They were, for Stella Nova, when they first dropped the prices there, it was around $229 for weekend nights, and then $189 for weekday nights. And someone brought it to my attention that they just dropped Florida resident rates, and they went down a lot.
Okay.
So much so that we had to change and update that. The weekday nights are $115 right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's endless summer level prices.
Yeah, to give you an idea, like the weekday that we were, that to give the same price or the same comparison, it was $74 for endless summer.
Wow.
And $113 for the same day of the weekday when we were looking at it.
Okay.
And then the weekend, I think, was $140 around there, which is great. I think that's a fantastic price.
When was that for, though, Chris?
That is for opening weekend of Mardi Gras. So last weekend of January.
So the benefit isn't there really for staying down there at that point. I have no doubt once Epic Universe opens, those prices are going to go up substantially.
Yeah, it was just interesting to watch because this was... I told you this a long time ago. When we booked this, it was when they first dropped the rates.
Yes.
First dropped anything for that hotel. This was back in April, and there was no discounts, nothing. Even weekdays were expensive. So it's one of those things where they're just like, hey, drop it and see if people pay this price.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure people booked, but probably not enough to the point that now they offered all the other rates
Yeah.
that you can get cheaper.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Like I say, when they first dropped, it was the only reason you were staying there was to stay there.
100%. It's just to try out the hotel.
Yes. And so obviously they realised that not that many people are that interested in just staying at the hotel. And like I say, once Epic Universe opens and those hotels are obviously, other than Helios, the two closest hotels, I'm sure those prices will go back to what they initially were. Or even more, potentially.
Could be.
It's just that Helios. It's obviously going to be incredibly high. I know we talked about when we did our Epic Universe predictions episode of just they could charge what they want, quite honestly. But the fact that they've put all this information out in emails and on the blog, and then they've done a whole podcast episode of promoting of what an amazing hotel this is going to be, permanent, exclusive access to a celestial park, view from everywhere basically everywhere at the backside of that hotel will have the best view of Celestial Park and Epic Universe, and you'll be able to see all the fountain shows throughout the day and the night and all the rest of it, and staff dust races and blah, and it's all about how amazing this hotel is. And we're not going to tell you a price because we want you to be excited about the hotel before we completely put you off.
They're slowly bending you over and going, hey, are you ready?
They want you salivating at this hotel that the price won't be as big a kick in the teeth as it's going to be.
Because which to be fair, I think we're all salivating pretty heavily. I think I ran out of saliva. So.
It looks amazing. It really does. And building a hotel into the park, it should be. It should showcase 100%. That park like nothing else has. But I have no doubt they're going to charge a very hefty premium for it.
This is basically their, I'm trying to make a comparison to Disney.
There isn't one.
They don't have any
the contemporary. I guess you're looking at those Magic Kingdom.
Ultra premium hotel.
Yeah, so you're looking at Grand Floridian, Polynesian,
like that.
Contemporary,
it has to be
those
up there
Magic
because
Kingdom.
Let's be fair. We all stayed at Portofino.
Yes, we did,
and it was a bit of a letdown. As for the price we paid, it was kind of
Yes, it was.
It's not a bad hotel. The rooms were huge, and everything was, it had kind of a luxurious touch to it. But that's about it. It was a little lackluster. So this hotel has to shine on all those other areas the same way. Because I think when you go to a Grand Floridian and a Polynesian, those hotels have tons of life in there. There's, it feels like there's a lot more things to do, places to eat, and all that kind of stuff. So you need that. And then on top of all that, you're situated in the park, basically. It's going to be up there. Yeah.
So just going back over our predictions, Michelle had a one-night theme park view room starting at $850. Tracy had it down at $950. You had it at $700, and I had it at $750. I think it might be more than that,
I think it might be more, but I think they're going to have to at least have 3 available rooms at $700, because it would be ludicrous to be the hotel starts at $1,000.
I think obviously we were predicting there off the back of basically a room that looks over Celestial Park. So you're going to have those internal rooms, or the ones at the front of the hotel that are just looking out over whatever that road is that it runs alongside. So they're obviously going to be cheaper than the ones at the back of the hotel that are going to have that premium view. So maybe, but I think those premium view rooms could end up being over $1,000, quite honestly.
But look, let's do a quick comparison, and this not to get too much into it, but the and I always forget the name, the Star Wars hotel.
Oh yeah, the what was it called?
Galactic Star Cruiser.
Yes, it was. You're right.
That one, if I remember correctly, it was a few $1,000 for a 2-night experience.
I think it was was it 5? Is that, or was that too much?
No, it went all the way. It went high, but I feel like you could have gotten it for a 2-person, close to 4, maybe 3,500 around there.
Jesus.
So you're spending in theory, you're spending about $1,500 close to $2,000 a night.
Yeah.
That's a whole experience, right? Like this is to say the Helios starts at 1,000 and it's just a hotel.
Yeah, I wonder.
And the Galactic Star Cruiser was literally, wasn't it on property, like right there?
I don't know where it is actually.
You would come in from the backside of it.
Didn't it go
like when
out
you went in,
into Galaxy's Edge, or was that originally what they wanted it to? I don't think it did. I think that was the plan originally, that you would walk, like you could go from that into Galaxy's Edge, but I don't think it did. I think you had to bus from there to wherever. Anyway, that's a completely different thing, to be fair. Like, that's on a whole new level. That would be the Hogwarts
I was just looking
hotel.
but I was looking at the price, right?
Yes.
The price you're paying for that. It's just, for
Yeah, I
me,
see
it's
what
a
you're saying.
difficult pill to swallow, $1,000 for a hotel. It will be. I'm not saying it will not.
No.
I'm just saying, for me, Chris, that's expensive. That's
But
a lot
again,
of money.
Like, so this is a very different. So me, you, and Tracy will have a very different conversation over this than Michelle would if she was here, because Michelle is a 1%er, and she pays that premium for, because she uses her hotel for a start. We don't.
True. This is very true.
Yeah. So that's why Michelle, so like going to Portofino, Michelle enjoys Portofino much more than we do, because we're not spending a lot of time in the hotel. But she'll also go with, there'll be her and Chrissa and Audrey. So having that huge bathroom with 3 girls, that one could be having a one could be in the shower, and one could be brushing the teeth.
At the same time,
Yeah. Me and Tracy rattling around in this massive bathroom that just makes me... I have this weird thing. If I'm sat on the toilet in a room that's too big, it just makes me feel uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. You want to feel cozy.
Yeah, it's weird. And those bathrooms
and that
were
bathroom,
massive.
we joked about it. You could sleep in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
it was
there
huge.
was a corner of that bathroom that was way too much square footage with nothing in there.
And that's the difference, though. Michelle would say, that's great, because I've got 3 girls, tons of space in the bathroom for the 3 of us to be in there at the same time. And you're like, fair enough. You're coming at it from a different... Our perspective is, we just don't need all that space.
I want to get my I want to get my toe stubbed on the door while I'm taking a when Alexa goes to open that door.
It's weird,
that's how tight I need it to be.
Yeah, it's just odd. It's very strange. Don't get me wrong, I'd stay there again, but it's not. It's definitely not. It's not at the top of my list at this point.
Yeah. Also, we never answered the question, right? We
did. We just went through what we had about our Epic Universe predictions.
Okay, we're going based off of that.
What it is. But she was asking, obviously, what it'll start at. Just like, not we were looking at it from a theme park viewpoint of view.
I'll stick to those numbers.
Yeah. Go on then, pick me another one, because I know I don't want to be influenced, so I'll let you pick them all.
7.
Number 7 is from Chuck Schaller.
Yo, Chuck.
And he asks, will the hours be different for every portal at Epic Universe? That's an interesting question.
Ooh.
I don't think so. But then I could see... No, I don't think so. I was going to say I could see... We kind of talked about this a couple of weeks ago, about Dark Universe is definitely that one land you want to see at night. Like, the perfect time to go into Dark Universe is just as the sun's setting, so golden hour into the evening. That's when that whole land's going to shine. But I can't see them, because if you start... I suppose I'm looking at it from closing rather than opening. If they started opening... If there was staggered opening, you're forcing people into certain lands. Or if they close staggered, then you're taking people out of lands and forcing them either out altogether or into another land, which I can't see them doing. They want to spread them out as much as they can. But then also, we don't know what the tickets are going to be. We know what we know that we're not going to talk about because it hasn't officially been announced. I've heard some other things that I don't think I've told you about. I've heard other things. We'll discuss that off air.
After.
No, I don't think
I think they'll
will.
do it more on the front end than the back, right? So I think you'll have, if you're going to have certain portals open and others not open, you'll have it
in the morning
as like an early entry type of perk.
As soon as you said that on the front end, I thought, I could see them doing early entry at like Super Nintendo World. Or yeah, that makes sense. So rather than the others opening late, that would be opening early. I could see them doing that.
Yeah,
but I can't see them doing unless they could
they've
do
never
late.
even done anything like that.
No,
either. And like a portal, it is a new theme park and everything, but when we think of a portal, it's a land.
Yeah.
Right. And so we have that in theory in islands. So you could do it there, but they don't.
It's not the same though, is it? I suppose the closest they do it currently is opening one of the parks, like for early park admission. That's effectively, but that's one park, isn't it? But then it's only certain areas in that one park, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it's cool with the portals if it's the way I think it is, where like right now, if you had islands and you closed off, Seuss is closed and Kong is closed, right? You still walk through them.
Yes.
Whereas the hub and spoke design of Epic allows you to literally close off a portal and you don't have to worry about staff in that land or anything really, and still be able to walk to everything else. So it's more doable than the other parks, but I still don't see them doing them for closing.
Yeah, not for closing. I think definitely I could see it being a perk of staying at Helios is, so the parks open everywhere. Celestial Park opens at 9, all the portals open at 9, but if you're staying at Helios, you can get access to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic at like 8.
Yeah, especially at those prices, I better have entrance to like the Galactic Star Cruiser as well. Like just everything.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Another one, Chris?
Sure. Let's do 10.
Number 10. Oh, we're sticking close. Number 10 comes from Michelle herself.
Yes, Portofino still has available rooms. Next.
She'd know better than you at that point, to be fair. She asked, do you think Islands of Adventure will re-theme the river adventure to the Universal Studios Hollywood's Jurassic World?
I do.
Yes. I think they will be missing a trick if they don't, because Seth's talked a lot over the last year on Little Things about how so much of those animatronics are bad, the initial ones. So bringing that initial tunnel in with the mosasaur would be a much easier fix for those. I need to go and watch it actually to see, because the ride's pretty much the same. I want to know what that mosasaur tunnel replaces.
What do you mean? Like the screen part?
Yeah, when you go through the tunnel and there's like the water around you and it's got the mosasaur going through and over the top. That's obviously, it's got to be, because that ride's virtually the same as the one in Orlando.
Oh, you're saying what did that replace?
Yeah, so that mosasaur section in there, what did that replace? And I'm assuming it's got to be, because I'm sure you go straight into it. But it would feel weird, wouldn't it, opening those gates and then going into that tunnel? I don't think it does. I think it maybe goes into the initial sort of Hadrosaur Cove bit.
I hope they wouldn't get rid of the gates. That would be a bummer.
But yes, I would like to see them do it, and I think they will at some point, because you already look at it. It has a weird identity, Jurassic Park at Islands at the moment, with Jurassic World Velocicoaster and then the raptor encounter.
The synergy's there. Just do it.
Yeah, just change the whole thing to. I think it'll come. I think it might be, because isn't the new movie coming out soon? Is that next year?
I think it's even further back. I know they announced like a whole.
I'm sure
was it a soft reboot or a hard.
I'm sure I saw the other day that Principal Photography's wrapped on it.
Really?
What's it called? Because Scarlett Johansson's in it, isn't she?
Yes.
So it's
Jurassic
called
Park
Jurassic
Rebirth 25. Yeah.
What a terrible name! What a terrible name!
July 2nd, 2025.
Yeah, because I'm sure they've wrapped Principal Photography on it already. And it looks like none of the original cast, like from any of them, are in it.
Well, it does set place 5 years after the last Jurassic World movie. So
okay.
I guess it is a continuation. It's a 7th installment, yeah.
How the hell? How do you move on from that? It's like two people have tried to open Jurassic Park and it didn't work. What makes you think you can do it?
Can I be honest with you?
Go on.
Never saw Dominion.
Really?
I love Jurassic Park. I love going to the land. I love riding the ride. I love watching the first 3 and the 4th one.
Yeah,
on
I love
TV.
Jurassic World.
It's too much. That's it. You tried it all, like you said, and it's like, how many times are you gonna like?
Yeah, fail.
You know it.
Yeah,
I think by doing this, you're just diluting it further. I think when they did this reboot or the continuation with Chris Pratt, I think it started off. I thought that movie, I forgot the name of the
Jurassic
first
World.
of that trip. Was it just Jurassic World?
Yes.
Period, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that movie was good.
I loved it.
And I thought
honestly.
it had, it's a good movie. They captured a lot of the essence of Jurassic Park. I don't think anything will ever actually capture that first movie because the time period of that movie, the CGI of that time period, like there's so much going on there. You'll never capture that moment again, but that's fine. You're not supposed to capture the past. You're creating something new. I think they did a really good job with that. And I think it was heading in a great trajectory. And then it just kind of fell off a cliff for me. Like the one after that was like, okay, you created another like weird dinosaur. Okay. And then it's like, well, we can still make this happen. It's always the same storyline like we had. It's like Terminator.
Yeah.
Like, and some of them are acceptable and some of them are not. But yeah, I'm over it. Like, I'm not really super excited about it. I'll probably watch it, but.
So I'm gonna take some heat for this, especially off one specific listener. Andy, if you want to talk about it, just message me, dude. It's fine. I'm not a fan of Jurassic Park, the original movie. I don't. It's the cast for me.
Really?
It's the cast. I don't like the kids.
Cast is amazing.
No, the kids wind me up. I'm not a Sam Neill fan. I just don't like it. The film.
Sam Neill's little boy?
No, Sam Neill.
What'd you just?
I don't
you
like
say
him. I don't like him.
Oh, him.
I don't like the kids either. The 2 kids, Lex and Timmy. Timmy winds me up. I hate him.
He's kind of a little
right. So it just
annoying.
I like the film, but the characters in it are what I don't like. So I don't care what you say. Come at me, right? Jurassic World it's the same as The Force Awakens. So The Force Awakens is effectively the first Star Wars film just brought up to date.
1000%.
Yeah, and Jurassic World is Jurassic Park brought up to date. It's exactly the same thing.
It's a safe Hollywood move. That's all it is.
It's just a reboot.
I agree with you.
Of that
I agree
movie.
with you.
But I like Chris Pratt. I like Bryce Dallas Howard. I like the 2 kids in it. One of them's the younger one's out of Insidious. I really like him. Ty Simpkins. His brother's got like all the cast hits it for me. It's still got that nostalgia from the initial one because you've got the T-Rex and all the rest of it. I really like it. Then the next one, it's like, didn't they all escape?
Yeah.
And then I wanted to see, is that the one with like the motorbike chase through the city in the beginning?
That's the one it's in the city. Yes, there's.
But it's like 20 minutes. I want to see the whole. I wanted the whole film to see them out in the wild. Movie. Then don't watch Dominion, then, Chris. Like, I'm going to take some heat for this. It felt like it was trying to be too much fan service. Like they brought all the old cast back, Sam Neill and Laura Dern and what's his face who can only act one way. His name won't come to me right now. Malcolm, whatever his real name is. My brain's not working. Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, and it was to be fair, the kid, the clone, she annoyed me even more so in the last one. Like plummy British accent, just it's not a good actor.
Okay.
It wasn't good. It felt really forced. I didn't enjoy it at all.
Okay, I haven't seen it, but I'll agree with you on that because, like I said, I haven't seen it because I was like already done with it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this. I'm not coming after you. You are allowed to say whatever you want to say. I am saying this for everybody listening to you right now that is screaming back to wherever you listen to us from. Okay.
Okay.
I highly have to disagree with you on the first movie. In fact, I think the cast half made that movie. Like, I love them, except the kids. The kids are super annoying. Aside from them, I thought the cast was amazing. Everybody. There was nothing. There's cheesiness in there that I think was intentional. It's one of those like adventure movies, and I thought they did it really well. So You're the first person I've ever heard say that the cast was not great. But that's okay. You're entitled to that opinion.
It's who you like and who you don't like, and I don't like most of. I mean, Sam Jackson's awesome in it because he's awesome in everything he's in.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Nedry's annoying, but he's good at that
Newman?
part. Yeah.
I just had to defend everybody that's yelling at you.
I don't
That's
care.
all.
Everyone, I'll probably take a lot of flack for this. I don't care. If anyone knows me, that's my opinion, and I
right.
don't give a shit what anyone else thinks.
Text Lee at 305-21.
Just email us. I'll give you. No, I was going to give everyone my personal email. I won't there. Just DM me. I don't care. I'll have a conversation about it. But yes,
that is
I think,
a hot take, man. That is wow. Okay.
I think it would be wrong of them not to at this point, just to try and freshen. We've talked about Islands of Adventure for the most part, still very much feeling like 1999's Islands of Adventure.
Yeah. I think we haven't seen it because of like a money and resource or like manpower.
Yeah, and you're not going to see it anytime soon. Exactly. Not until Epic Universe opens and that starts bleeding money. Not bleeding money, but you know what I mean. So the money gates start flowing, because it will, and it'll make an absolute ton of money, and then hopefully they'll start pumping it into those parks. Islands, I don't even want to say those parks. Studios feels like it's had money spent on it. Islands, yes, you've got Hogsmeade and you've had Hagrid's put in and you've had Velocicoaster put in, but other than that, the rest of it hasn't really been touched. I know they can't with Marvel, but Toon Lagoon's well dated. Zeus hasn't really had anything done to it. It doesn't feel like it's had the same love that Studios has had.
Yeah, I can see that. Like at a high level, for sure.
Yes. The things they put in are amazing, don't get me wrong, but it's a wider thing rather than they've concentrated on big things rather than just kind of freshening up everything else that's in there, I think. And I know that, like, look at...
I mean, dude, Lost Continent.
Exactly. Yeah, you beat me to it. Like, it's a nothing of a land at this point. And I've said
you're just power walking through it.
Yeah. I said this on the show with Nicole and Patrick when they filled in for you and Michelle, that they seem to have spent a lot of time and money refreshing both parks. To be fair, there's been a lot of construction walls up around both parks, or freshening pavements and walls and repainting this, that, and the other to try and get both of them looking the best they can for people who haven't been to the parks in a very long time and are going to be coming for Epic Universe, or people who've never been before and are only coming for Epic and think, well, while we're there, we might as well go and see those other two parks. And they're going to go to Epic Universe, this brand new state-of-the-art, amazing theme park, and then they're going to go to Islands of Adventure and walk through Lost Continent and go, I feel like I say this every week now, what the hell's this?
Yeah.
It's weird that they closed Poseidon. Even if you'd have just left Poseidon's Fury open, potentially people would have gone in and gone, oh, what the is this? You know what I mean? Maybe it would have been worse. I don't know. But to have a land with nothing in it, other than a couple of
They should have left Poseidon open, honestly.
I think so.
They should have. There's no reason not to, aside from the what is it, the cost of running the water tunnel. But even then, like you said, there's nothing in that land. And it is a ginormous footprint. Yeah. Probably one of the largest facades that you have in the entire resort.
Like, think about it, from the entrance from like where you come off the main path to the entrance of Poseidon's Fury is huge. You could fit an attraction in that space.
Yeah, just take off the sign that says Poseidon and just put up like Hyrule, and people be fine with that.
I think it's coming at some point, but yeah, I think they will. I think they'll be missing a trick if they don't. Like I say, that it feels weird at the moment that you've got that weird, like Jurassic Park and Jurassic World all mixed together. Because, like I say, even the raptor encounter is blue from Jurassic World. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It feels kind of odd at this point too. And the river adventure over at Hollywood looks pretty cool. Like I say, Universal have moved away from screens for definite. It's not something they're leaning on like they were. And when they were getting for it all the time, it was like, do you know what? You kind of deserve it, because they did really heavily rely on screens, and they've got away from that quite a bit lately.
It's good. At least they're listening and learning.
Yes. But you can still have screens. They're not an evil. They're not, we don't need to have any screens in. You put them in there to enhance things, and I think that mosasaur section in there is perfect.
Yeah, it's a just like CGI in movies. You don't have to stop using CGI.
Yes,
just use them where they're properly or best used, and use practical effects in other areas.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cool.
All right, I think that's going to wrap up the show. I think we beat those 2 questions down pretty heavily. And then now we're going to end this with another listener submitted How Bad is Fast and Furious? And this one comes from Kurt Gombar. Fast and Furious Supercharged is so bad.
How bad is it?
Fast and Furious Supercharged is so bad, they asked ChatGPT if it could be improved, and it just said, close it. Amazing.
It's so much easier when there's only 2 of us.
Yeah. The editing is just way easier.
Yes. Not having to splice everyone because it's Michelle. Michelle's always like way behind you, and it's anyway. Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
We need some more desperately because I think Kurt sent another 3 in, and then we haven't got any after that. I don't think.
Okay. Well, please send us your How Bad is Fast and Furious Supercharged jokes, along with which stick gets your lick recordings to podcast@uuopodcast.com. And we're only a few weeks away from the end of Halloween Horror Nights, so please get your HHN 33 house rankings in, ranking the Orlando houses 10 to 1. And those can also be sent to podcast@uuopodcast.com. Also, you can join the Producers Club by going to uuop.supercast.com.
Yes, you can.
Yes, go do it. It's not a cult, I promise you. I can't make that promise, actually.
No.
All right. Until next time. Talk to you then.
Are you insane? Get out of here. The curse, it's real. The podcast is over. So, the Magi want you to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. For all the podcast news and articles, check out our blog at uuopodcast.com. Contact us by emailing us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And if you want to join the Producers Club, email us at uuopproducers@gmail.com. Silence! With your subscriptions, we shall rule for all eternity. Listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Not even the Magi can save you now. There is no escape. Your end shall be my beginning. Prepare yourself for your next trip by emailing Michelle at portkeyvacations.com. She can take care of all aspects of your next Universal Orlando vacation. We hope you enjoyed your podcast. Please remain seated and keep your arms and legs inside the prepare to forfeit your souls. Check out the other podcasts on the UUOP network. Rush of Fear, Halloween Horror Nights podcast, the theme park duo for all your West Coast news and info, the Taste of Universal, Universal Orlando Food podcast, and the newest podcast on the network, the Portkey Passport, our Disney-centric podcast. So hey, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. I would have enjoyed this podcast a lot more if I had gotten my cup of coffee.